This is The Big Question with Dr. Ellie Gonzalez, brought to you by Good News Unlimited, tackling the big questions in a simple and positive way.
And today's big question is, are there monsters in the Bible? The answer to this question is yes, there are many monsters in the Bible, but they're not necessarily the monsters you might think. The monsters that the people in biblical times were afraid of were mainly the ones in the natural world around them. They didn't need to create too many make-believe monsters when they had lions and bears nearby. However, the Bible does talk about two monstrous creatures, and no one really agrees on what they were. The first one is called the Leviathan, and it's mentioned in Job, in Psalms, and in Isaiah. And from the description given of the Leviathan, it seems to have lived in the sea. It seems to have been like a serpent, and it was big and it had sharp teeth. It has even been described as having many heads and as being able to spit fire from its mouth. Sounds rather fanciful to me. The problem we have is that all the passages in which it is mentioned are highly poetic and not really literal. A lot of people think that the Leviathan might have actually been a crocodile, with some poetic license thrown into the descriptions. The other monstrous creature is called the behemoth, and we read about it in Job 40. This animal is very strong with a long tail and it eats grass. It lived in or near waterways and had a tough skin. Some people think that this might have been a hippo, although I'm not too sure about how the long tail fits in. There are some Christians who think that dinosaurs survived the flood and that the creatures I've just mentioned might be dinosaurs, and they would say that in subsequent literature they were called dragons, and that even phenomena such as the Loch Ness Monster could be a surviving dinosaur. Intriguing. Talking about dinosaurs, there are actually dragons in the Bible too, not as literal creatures, but instead as symbols in prophetic passages. In the sense that the devil first appears in the book of Genesis as a serpent, the dragon in prophecy comes to represent the devil. I guess that the greatest monster of all is the devil. But we really don't need to get so spiritual to find monsters. There are many monsters much closer to home. Think of Joseph Stalin and Adolf Hitler. Think of monsters even closer to home, such as those who prey on our children in our neighbourhoods. What about the monsters who are abusive in relationships, or those who use others for their own benefit, callously uncaring of the pain and the hurt that they cause? We see in the annals of history many examples of the monstrous deeds of which human beings are capable when we forget God and who He created us to be. We find that in the Bible too. It turns out that apart from God, we are ourselves the worst of monsters.
For more, contact goodnewsunlimited.com.